instances that you observe on a daily basis continue to those instances that you don't observe.
Because if there's any instances that I don't observe, then I know nothing about them.
To those
right? So how can you even tell me that there are instances that
Sidney,
I don't?
I'm not trying to be I know we're off air. I'm not trying to be mean. Okay, you're really not getting some of these fundamental concepts. If you make a global claim, right? Look, let me give you an example. Suppose I said on every continent there are pink cows, right? But I only live on the continent of North America, and my observations are limited to North America. Then I can only speak about what I can observe. Now, if I make a global statement, there are pink cows on every continent, and you say, how are you able to verify that? And I say, because it's self-evident. How would a pink cow in Australia be self-evident to me when I am limited in my observations to North America? It's not self-evident that there are pink cows. So when you say that there are certain states of affairs that are global or universal, and you say it is self-evident, then you have to have observations of all of those global or universal incidences, but you don't. So your claim that there are certain global states of affairs is self-evident is completely empty, because you don't have the means.
Absolutely not. Yours, whatever you're saying, is completely empty. Because you're making an assumption that the other things that happen that we don't see that are not physical. I would imagine that's what you're saying.
Sidney, do you know what a global claim is, or a universal claim?
I guess
right?
I do. Yeah, I guess.
I
guess, yes, I do. Let's say I do.
All right, good. If you make a global claim, then you either observe all of these global instances or you don't. Can you make a global observation of all instances, Sidney?
Yes. Yes.
No, you can't, Sidney.
Yes, I can.
Even a child would not say yes to this, Sidney.
Then why do you ask childish questions?
It's not a childish question. So, I'm really beginning to suspect that it's a total waste of time conversing with you, and that you're just simply trolling me and you're playing dumb.
I just happen to be smarter than you. That's really pretty much it.
No, Sidney. Oh God, this is so frustrating. Sidney, you can't make global observations. It's not. It cannot occur.
Hold on a sec. We're getting some feedback.
Do you understand?
I do. Mute, James, mute. Okay, that's good. Thank you. I'm sorry about that.
Sidney, can I make a global statement that there are pink unicorns pink cows in every country?
No.
Why not?
Because observation will disprove you. Will prove you wrong.
No. Let's say I'm the only person on the planet.
That's impossible. Okay, I'll tell you what. If we're gonna do let's discuss the.
Oh God, Sidney.
Okay, I'll tell you what. If you want to do a let's say, Darwin's, why don't we do what I suggested that we do prior, and you said, no way, I'm never going to do that. And that was, why don't you talk to me? Can you present your rationale that nothing can happen without the Christian God, without referring to the Gospels? Take the Gospels out of it, support Jesus without the Gospels.
That's not what I said.
No, that's what I want you to do.
Okay, all right.
I want you to
Sidney,
support Jesus.
You're very frustrating.
Support Jesus without using the Gospels. Can you do that?
I just don't know what to say anymore. I mean,
Exactly. You
I've
could
dumbed things
say,
down
no, I can't.
to a level that a child can understand, and I'm really beginning to become convinced that you're just trolling. Okay.
All right.
For you to say that certain global statements are self-evident.
Well, you're saying one.
So,
You said the Christian God is true. That's self-evident. I mean, that's exactly that's even more absurd than what you think I'm saying.
okay, fine. You do not accept that. I understand that. But at face value, there are people within the skeptic community, philosophers, who will recognize that you cannot make global or universal statements in such a way that you can't be wrong. You may use induction because you only see certain instances. Like, for example, if you only see pink cows and have never seen a non-pink cow, you might infer that all cows are pink. That would be called inductive reasoning. But the fact of the matter is, if you're going to make a global assertion, such as the law of non-contradiction is true at all times in all places, you can't make the claim that it is self-evident, because that claim goes beyond what you can experience or see. Your experiences are your observations are limited to your experiences.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That is so ridiculous.
Let me repeat this.
You're talking to me. You're talking to me.
See, I feel really sorry for you. If you
You're talking to me as if I'm the only person. As if I'm the only person on the planet. Crazy.
Your observations.
Yeah.
Are limited to your experiences.
Absolutely
okay?
not. Absolutely not.
You cannot observe what you cannot experience.
Absolutely not. I watched the original. This morning I watched the original film footage taken when the Apollo 11 landed on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't there watching it. I was watching it through the camera. So to say that I have to observe things myself is a little
all right. Here's the problem. Your claim. There are problems, a number of problems with your claim. First and foremost, you're assuming the tape is genuine. Okay.
Of course, it's genuine. I mean, we were all there in 1969.
No, but here's the thing is.
It's genuine.
I
am assuming it's genuine. I am assuming.
Right, Sidney,
no, I'm not.
I can't.
I'm not even assuming it's genuine. It's an axiom.
Reasoning with you is like reasoning with a retard.
All right.
The fact of the matter is, the astronauts who were there. If we're going to say that the film of the moon landing is an observation, I can even grant that for the sake of conversation, because we have somebody there who was to observe it. If there's no observer, okay, if there's not an experience, then you can't observe what is not experienced by someone. So all you're simply doing is you're pointing out that the astronauts were there, they made a film, they had an experience and an observation, and they pass that on to you. What that example does not contradict or negate what I am saying, right? So, for example, there are certain, let's say, instances that occur outside of our observation in the universe. Would you agree with that?
No.
Oh my God!
I'll
try one more time.
Are
there events that occur outside of your observation, Sidney?
Outside of my personal observation, obviously. Hello.
Okay, good. Now, if you say that the nature of certain events outside of your experiences are a certain way, right? You're going to have to tell me how you determined the nature and the character of those events if you didn't observe it? How were you able to determine what the events were that are outside your experience and powers of observation?
Well, that's quite simple to answer. Firstly, you can never, if you don't observe them, you can't say what they were. But what I can say was the forces behind them are physical and chemical. That's what I can say to 100% certainty.
How you can assert that?
100%. I could assert that. Yes.
How are you able to determine that?
Because it passes the test. That's why.
All right, Sidney, listen.
It passes the test of
you're
physics
pleasant.
and chemistry.
Listen, you're not obnoxious and you're pleasant to deal with, but I just can't deal with your stupidity anymore. It's just it makes my head want to explode.
Well, why don't you go find a much more
do you
understand?
Do you understand that tests are limited to your experience?
You got to understand that. Unfortunately, I have very, very thick skin, and all those pejoratives and insults that you throw at me.
Sidney, unless you're trolling me, which I think that you are.
I'm always trolling.
If you're not trolling me,
that's all you are. You're troll bait.
Is colossal.
You're troll bait, dude. Everybody knows that.
All right,
well,
Sidney,
your opinion is so asinine.
Sidney,
your point of view is so asinine.
You are one of the
primitive.
One of the most stupid fucking atheists I have ever encountered. I can't take this anymore.
I'm
sorry bringing stuff down to a child's level, and still you're not understanding. How can you? I'll ask you this one simple question, Sidney.
Sure.
How can you test something that is outside of anybody's experience?
For example, like what?
You said we can know the nature and the specifics of events that are outside of our observation experience.
I never said that. I said we can
know.
All right,
Sidney, I can't do this.
We can know that everything is physical.
You're either fucking stupid or you're trolling me.
You can either know that everything is of a physical and a chemical cause. That I can tell you 100%. You have a nice day yourself. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Let's see. How's this work? Oh, you're still there. Dude. Thank you. Finally. You're back. Oh well. Well, when you calm down, turn on your mic or whatever, and then you can. And then I'll educate you a little bit more, okay? Because that's something that you obviously seriously need a bit of a boost on, is in your education. You know what I mean? You know what I think I'm going to do for when we actually get into a debate? Oh, he's gone. Anyway, I'm gonna add a timer into this window, like a permanent timer, I think. And that way, when we do get into these little, I am finished. I need some time to finish. Then we could. All right. So I tell you what. From now on, we're going to use timing. The timer. Alright, so there it is. Now, how are we going to do this? I'll just throw it on the side over here, like that, right? Yeah. Start countdown. Good? Yes, so this is what we're going to use from now on, Darwin's. Here's a timer, okay?
No, Sidney, that was an impersonator, just to let you know. That wasn't me.
What was an impersonator?
The avatar that just showed up.
Well, it's okay. He didn't say anything, so...
Yeah, well, of course they didn't, because they would be hard pressed to imitate my voice.
I didn't notice. Was it the same name? I assumed it was you, but I know.
Yeah, they imitated my name, and they use the avatar,
Okay,
so they're
well, I didn't
impersonating me.
notice.
Anyway, Sidney, have a nice day.
Thank you, sir. That's very nice of him, isn't it? See, he does have a bit of humanity in him, old Darwin's deity. No, well, I mean, he could have a little bit more, I guess, right? But he's doing all right, you know. I guess he's look, his social graces are not the best. I'm just gonna check this counter to see if it actually works. Let's see. Doodly. I'm going to show you what happens when this thing stops counting down, right? So I'm just going to set it to like 5 seconds or something. This is what's going to happen, babies. This is what's going to happen when you hit your 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 30 seconds, whatever. Okay, now that means your time is up, okay? That's how it's going to work from now on. Debates. We're going to have lovely discussions because we're going to have time for everybody to have their say in these hangouts. It's not for everybody, I'm sure, because you know what? A lot of people just like to interrupt. I mean, that's just their thing. Interrupting. Like Darwin's, who was in here just a little earlier. He never let me finish anything. He just interrupted whenever he felt like it, right? He's got like some kind of a entitlement. He's got some kind of an internet entitlement to interrupt, right, Darwin's? That's kind of what you're that arrogant. Let's just say. But that's neither here nor there, I guess. If you want to be arrogant, you can be arrogant. What the fuck? I can't stop you. Can I? But what I could do... Oh, I see what you're saying. You're talking about that Darwin's on the side there with Darwin's deity in the side chat of the YouTube page, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I saw him. I totally what's the word? I totally ignored him. That's what I was meaning to say. Ignored the man. All right. I don't know if I'm getting anyone out there. If I'm getting this. What am I trying to say? I don't know if I am getting this hangout marketed to enough people who know that I'm having one to come in. So I'm going to go and do some groveling, okay? Give me a moment. I'm going to do some groveling. You know, like, please come into my hangout. Nobody's in my hangout. You know what I mean? What's going on there? Although I must say, doing it this way, I probably lose more followers, but what can I say? What can I say? What can I say? What can I do? Not a hell of a lot. Just be the same kind of asshole to everybody that everybody's being to everybody else. Simple. So this hangout's open for discussion about pretty much anything. We've already had one attempt by our friend Evolution False, or Darwin's deity. He came in here to ask me some asinine, ridiculous question. And rage quit. rage quit because I made some sense. Sorry, Mr. fucking Don's Diddy. Jesus Christ, I make my sense and you rage quit? It's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate indeed. So, everybody has left the call. So, if you like, you know what we can do? We can go and do a review, some kind of a news analysis. We can listen to a news analysis by someone. I don't know. But first thing we can do is literally get rid of that thing because I don't need it. There we go. And secondly, we can do is find out why I'm frozen. Something's frozen in there, isn't there? Oh no, everything's good. All right, let me just let me do some quick calculations. The stream's been going for how long? 22 minutes. Well, we'll just call this one over, and but Didi made okay, this was going to be called but open rational discussion, but Didi made sure that did not happen. There you go. Okay, so this one's over. I think I'm going to do the usual sort of outro, which is that one. I'll want to thank Don's Deity for joining us. He was a really good sport. He didn't come up with any new insults today, so he needs to brush up on those. To call me the most stupid moron idiot he's ever met in his life, and then to actually come into my hangout is kind of projecting. But again, thank you for watching. This is a short one, which seems to be the way to go, especially with dumbass hangouts, kind of like this one has turned out to be. But Ave Satanas. See you soon.